first time ever response video to Throne of Allah, I think it's called, something like that. At any rate, I'm hard to please when it comes to this religious stuff, so let's get into it. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's get started. I'm hard to please, man. I don't go off that propaganda, man. It's gotta really be amazing. I'm hearing good things about it, but okay. That look like Hebrew. Ooh, the volume's up. Disclaimer, possible ways video going to show the unseen world. Okay. That's nice. It's nice how they got that, star cluster or whatever in the background. I like that particular one.
All the praise is for Allah, who is the author of all existence and the most generous to his creation, while he is also the all-compelling. He is the only one worthy of our worship, having no partners, no associates, no sons, no daughters, no one whom he must consult, and no one or anything which has any comparison with him. All the praise is for Allah, who is the King of all who claim sovereignty, the only one
to my knowledge, he's
who
not
has the
quoting
right
from
to
the
legislate
Quran.
for his creatures. He
This
is
is
the giver
something he
of
wrote.
life. He is the causer of death, while death has no effect upon him, because he is the ever-living, the self-subsisting, the eternal and the only absolute. All the praise is for Allah, who has power over all things, and there is in reality no power and no strength, no influence to cause benefit or detriment except through him. It is he who created this complex world, the seen and the unseen, the evident and the speculative,
He's a good speaker.
the earth and all that is on it.
I don't know if I agree with everything he say, but
everything that is in it. It is
He's a
he
good
who
speaker.
sent his messengers and prophets, alayhimus salam, with the common message of strict monotheism, which simply means
I don't know why they got this crap on here, man. Come on.
one worthy of worship, no one
I just
worthy of
like
our
the-
obedience,
I just like the
except
comment,
the Almighty,
how they-
the One,
the
the
emphasis
Absolute,
is no
and who
partners,
has
no partners.
The earlier messages, which changed the world in the
All right.
area in which the prophets were sent, those messages we know have changed. And even the prophets
I don't
who
agree
brought
with that.
them, their names are now lost. We just know in general, because Allah told us in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنْ يَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. I've sent to every nation a messenger, calling people to worship Allah alone and to avoid the worship of false gods.
That don't mean
This
that their
essential
message
message
changed.
has been preserved in Islam in a way that it was never preserved before. Not because the message was different, because it was the same message, but because of the fact that there would be no other prophets who would come after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So therefore that message now had to be protected. It had to be preserved in a way none of the earlier messages were preserved.
Hold on. I mean, preserved up until, according to Islam itself, because Muhammad was sending his people to the Torah. So up until Islam arrived, it was preserved. You can still go back and get that truth. I just find it ironic that they say it's no more. I don't remember reading in the Quran, or what have you, that it was changed. It's no longer. I'm just. But if you read in there, he says you can still, at the time that the Quran was received, it was received at a time when the message was not even destroyed.
What you say, you have come to know 40 years back. And what you call the Big Bang is already mentioned in the book which I read, the glorious Quran. It's mentioned 1400 years ago in Surah Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 30, which says, Avalam yaral lazina kafaru. Do not the unbelievers see anna samawati wal arda kanat ratkan fastaqnahuma, that the heaven and the earth were joined together and we clove them asunder. What you're talking about, the Big Bang,
I try to imagine compressing a spring. I push it closer and closer and closer together, so it's smaller and smaller.
Man, I probably should shut up, but that's not the Bible belief. The Bible belief that by the word of God were the heavens made, and they stood fast. In other words, there was nothing there. From what he's saying, it's like they were just compound into something, and then it came out. But
Smaller and smaller. And I've stored a tremendous amount of energy in that spring. And when I let it go, it bursts out, it bursts out, it bursts out.
the creation of the universe, which you came to know 40 years back.
I like this guy
Basis will
too,
say, maybe someone wrote,
but
maybe it's a
not
fluke,
everything he say.
maybe it's a guesswork.
Not
A
everything.
human being, regardless of who they are, or where they are, or what they do, will have this curiosity. They'll want to know, why am I here? How did I get here? And do I have a purpose? And if so, what is it? The only one who would really be able to answer that question would be the Creator himself. If there is a Creator, it would be up to him to tell us why we were created and what he expects from us and what this life is really about.
All right.
Allah has shown the people from the time of Adam until right now, has shown the people what he wants from them. And it's a very simple thing. And that is that worship be for him alone without any partners. In fact, we know this life to be a test from Almighty.
Just want to pause to say that the Bible, that's the duty of man, but that's not why they were created. They were not created. I try to explain this to people. They were not created to serve, just to be, servants. They have a you know what I mean? That's like saying you go to school just to learn. No, you're learning. How does it go? You go to school to learn, not to do the rules, abide by the rules of the school, like know this, don't do that, don't do this. You see what I'm saying? If you smoke in class, you're going to be expelled from the class. But smoking and not smoking is not why you're in the class. You see what I mean?
That's why we're born, and that's why we die. Because there has to be a beginning and an end for us to be tested on. The next life, after this life, no one will ever die again. A bad person or a good person. Both are brought back, and they continue to live in the next life, either in good shape or not so good shape, depending on how they did on the test. The worship of the God of Abraham, that was what was taught by these prophets.
The Lord of the Arsh and Kursi, billions and billions or more people. But what is this dunya in comparison to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created out there. This dunya is insignificant. This dunya is meaningless to Allah. It means nothing. It is worthless.
I wouldn't go that far.
So worthless, compare it with the sun. The sun, 1.3 million Earths in the sun.
That's not
Allahu
even a big
Akbar.
sun.
Allah is the greatest. The sun is one star. One star. There are stars out there which are millions of times bigger than the sun. Your head and you look above. Whatever you see above, the zillions and zillions and zillions of galaxies, let me tell you, this is everything there is within the first heaven. Everything there is within the first heaven, and Allah is the creator of 7 heavens. 7 heavens.
Let me just say
And the
this.
distance between.
I just want to say this. That's just the science behind that, because a lot of what he's saying is up until that point has been scientifically, sound to a degree, but we have yet to find scientifically, you know what I'm saying, the 7 heaven theory, what have you. It seemed like it makes sense, but do it really? Is that really? But that's his belief. That's in the Quran, or the Quran, or what have you. So I get why he would say that.
Between the first heaven and the second heaven is 500 years. The distance that can be covered in 500 years, at what speed? Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows. But it will take 500 years to get from the first heaven to the second
According
heaven.
to all of the Abrahamic faiths, because the angels in his presence can go and come in a split of time. So they on a whole nother scale of travel than what we even are accustomed to. So I don't know who was traveling that slow when he was going, but when they went and told him, but maybe there's something to that. I don't know, but I know in the Bible they get here in no time.
Heavens in comparison to the kursi of Allah. Take a ring from your finger, take it off, the small ring that you have, and place it, let's say, in a desert, the Sahara Desert. It's the biggest desert in the world. You know that ring that we take off from our fingers and place it in the Sahara Desert? What comparison is in between the ring and the Sahara Desert? Nothing. Nothing. The 7 heavens is the ring, and the kursi of Allah is the Sahara Desert. After the kursi is the desert. What is the kursi in comparison to the arsh of Allah? Nothing. Then you have angels which carry the arsh of Allah. Their heads are in the 7th heaven and their feet are in the lowest earth. My friends, then you have the Lord of the earth and the sea.
He lost me when he started speaking Arabic.
The greatness of Allah is beyond the comprehension of my little mind.
I want you to know, I got the part where he was like, they're in the 7th heaven and another one in the lowest depths of the earth. That was interesting. It was interesting. It's not, I mean, a lot of it is just pure belief, but all right. Y'all's up.